Hey everybody, it's Rykard here again, back with another black and white Pokemon related video. Today I'm going to be discussing an original moveset that I came up with for Weavile, and I'm not calling this video an upgrade mainly because of the fact that I'm using moves from black and white in a way that I've never really seen anybody use before, especially on a Weavile. So with that, here's the set. I hope you like it, and let's take a look at Weavile stats, just to give you an overview of them. So first off, as you all know already, Weavile is a Dark Ice type Pokemon, giving it some very unique stab coverage. However, it does yield a 4 times weakness to fighting, which is very unfortunate. As for the abilities, Pressure obviously makes it so that your opponent uses up twice the amount of PP for each attack it uses, um, which is a pretty cool ability in itself, but really not the most awesome as far as abilities go. And in the Dream World, even though this ability has nothing to do with the set I'm about to show you, I figured I would explain it anyways. It gets an ability known as Pickpocket, which is really cool, and the fact that anytime a Pokemon makes contact with Weavile or any other Pokemon that learns Pickpocket as its ability, what it will do is it will steal your opponent's item if you don't have one. And that's a really cool ability to play around with. I might do something on that with another Pickpocket Pokemon or Weavile in the future. However, that's not the focus of the set right now. And as you can see from the stats, it has very high physical attack with 120 base attack and very, very high speed with 125 speed. And there are really only a handful of things that will outspeed it, namely Crobat, Electrode, Aerodactyl, Jolt, and Jolteon. Those are like the only things that actually matter. I don't count Ninjask to really do anything because all it does is Baton Pass for the most part, so I'm not going to count that. And then obviously, there's legendary Pokemon that outspeed it, but that's kind of negligible when you're using a Weavile in, the other tiers. But it also speed ties with Swallow, which is something to make note of. But that's pretty much it for the stats, so it's, fast and powerful. Doesn't have the best defenses in the world, but what can you do? So with that, let's take a look at the moveset that I have, which is, the whole point of this video to begin with. So first off, we're going to be giving Weavile a Jolly Nature to increase its speed, but lower its special attack. And for the ability, we're going to be going with Pressure because we have to, since the Dream World ability is impossible to use with one of the moves on this set. As for the EVs, we're going to be putting 252 into physical attack to give you your highest physical attack with a Jolly Nature, 4 for defense for one more point into that, and 252 EVs into speed to give you your max speed possible, which is really high, if I cannot stress that enough. As for the item, there really isn't anything to go with this set perfectly, so in my opinion, using a berry that will reduce the amount of damage a super effective move will do to you is very useful. So you can either pick a Chopal berry to reduce the amount of damage a super effective fighting attack will do, or a Babiri berry, Babiri? I don't even know, to reduce the damage of a super effective steel type. And the reason why I chose these two is because both of them are very common priority moves in the form of Mach Punch and Bullet Punch. So with one of these berries, you are able to survive a Bullet Punch or a Mach Punch from just about anything, which is really great, unless it's a Technician Breloom, in which case you're dead. But basically anything else. So those are kind of the two because, as I said before, Weavile is very fast, so the only things that are really going to be outspeeding it are things that have priority. But as for the moveset, the first move we're going to be using is Hone Claws as a way to increase our physical attack and also our accuracy by 1 stage, which is great because it will allow Weavile to increase its already impressive physical attack even more and also give it a very useful accuracy boost to allow it to use the next move in the set, which is that of Dynamic Punch. Now, I will explain how to get that at the end of the video, but just to let you know, Dynamic Punch, if you don't know, is a 100 base power fighting type move with only 50 accuracy, but it automatically confuses each time it hits. Now, I have personally had a lot of luck hitting with Dynamic Punch after 1 Hone Claws, which I think is amazing, but I doubt that's actually going to be happening too often. However, you're basically safer using Dynamic Punch with 2 Hone Clauses. However, with 1 up, you will have, I think, over 60 accuracy with Dynamic Punch, somewhere around there. I think it increases in increments of thirds, so it will be whatever 50% plus a third of that for 1 Hone Clause, and then 2/3, and then Yeah. So that's how that works, or the accuracy increases work if you're willing to do the math yourself. As for the next move, we're going to be using Ice Punch as your main stab move on the ice side, as well as Night Slash as your main stab move on the dark side. Dark side. Sorry. I'm thinking Star Wars. Yay. Okay. And then for a secondary option on your dark side, we could also go with Bite. And the reasoning for this is even though it has less base power than Night Slash, you could potentially get some paraflint, or sorry, confusion flinching going on in combination with Dynamic Punch and Bite. So it could render your opponent immobile if you do it and get lucky. However, that's just another option. Most people will probably opt for Night Slash just for the greater power. However, the 30% chance to flinch with Bite is always welcome. And as you can see, I actually went through this moveset pretty quickly. The reason is because I want to get to what's after this to explain how to get Dynamic Punch, but this set I've had a lot of fun using, and I think it's a really cool way to make use of Hone Claws and combine it with Dynamic Punch, because there aren't a lot of Pokemon that can do that. So Weavile is very special in that right. But that's it for this moveset. So now I will go on to explain how to get this moveset on a Weavile, because it's actually a very long process to do if you don't use Pokesav or Pokegen to get your opponent or get your Pokemon perfectly EV'd and everything like that by, using whatever the heck it is. I don't know if it's action replay, but either way, it's just an easier, quick way to do it, and I totally approve of that. I would do it too if I had it, but I don't at the moment. But anyways, this is how you get this moveset for Weavile. So to do this, you first need to catch a Sneasle in Leaf Green in the Icefall Cave, and I believe it's located on the first floor or basement 1, if I am reading this off Cerebi correctly. After that, you need to then trade that Sneasle to Pokemon Emerald. Then optionally, if you want to have Bite on this Weavile, you have to breed it in Emerald with something that will get Bite, and you can look it up on Google to find out what Sneasle can breed with in Gen 3 to get Bite. I'm not going to get into that whole thing because you can do that yourself. Then, after it is an Emerald, you first have to go to Mossdeep City to teach Weavile Dynamic Punch from the move tutor that is there. And I believe it's like somewhere on the shoreline or something like that. And then after that, you need to go to the Battle Frontier and teach Sneasle Ice Punch through one of the things you can get for 48 battle points. I'm not too specific on that because I actually don't own Emerald, I just have Sapphire. But then you need to trade it back to Leaf Green after you have given it Ice Punch, Bite, and or Bite if you want to, and Dynamic Punch, and then put it into what is known as Pal Park in any of the Gen 4 compatible games, and that's Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Soul Silver, and Heart Gold. And then from there, you have to trade it from one of those games I just mentioned to Black or White in order to teach it Hone Claws. Now, as you can see, this is a very long and drawn out process to get this moveset the legit way, if you want to say. So if you do have Pokesav or Pokegen or whatever you use, I suggest you use that because this is incredibly time consuming, I would assume. However, that is basically how you get this moveset if any of you are curious, and it is 100% legal because of this. But that is the end of this video, guys, so I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you liked the moveset, because I've had a lot of fun with it, and I hope this explanation is helpful for a lot of you who do make a lot of my sets, like the legit way, I guess, because it's a pretty cool one to play around with. But that's it, guys, so take care, and goodbye.